Right. Okay, here we are. Okay, so welcome everybody to the first of Park Royal's sessions. This is an interactive, session. Please have your pen and pads, ready. And I trust all you can all, see my screen. This is a program which has been put together by OPDC, which is the Old Park Royal Group, and they've launched a new brand called The Forge. The Forge is meant to be launched any day now. Its objective is to connect businesses and communities with a special focus on employment, especially when furlough ends in September, etc. We're doing this in partnership with West London Business, and the program itself is a hybrid of our Goal Mapper and our Fit to Bid, which are two proprietary programs. Goal Mapper is to do with regeneration, and Fit to Bid is winning more contracts. I've got a schedule of all the workshops at the end, which I'll be happy to show you. Okay, the agenda for today, so it'll probably go to 12 to 12 to 15, depending on how well you work. Okay, so there's an introduction, a framework, a business model. I'll give you an example, and then it'll be over to you. We'll go through a set of exercises with some clear instructions on every screen. So please have a notepad ready. Use one. There are 9 to 10. Building blocks of the canvas, including the adaptability. There is also an action plan. So you might, if you have a small notepad, you need 12 pages would be useful, or a couple of sheets of paper divided into 12 sections. We will then have a small fun exercise to assess your business model, see how well you've done. You can share the results via chat, summary, and a Q&A. Okay, and this session is being recorded. I hope the technology works, and you will be sent the link by tomorrow, sir. Okay. A bit about me. I joined Brandwin 11 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, and I'm responsible for essentially for delivering, not only delivering, but managing contracts. I've been doing that for myself for a long time, so I hope you're in good hands. Okay. We have people on the ground in Park Royal who will be delivering some of the one-to-ones. I'll go through that in a bit more detail as well. So we are just one slide on us. We are a business support organization. We work with local government authorities, growth hubs, entrepreneur hubs. We talk to them about what they want to achieve, how they want to regenerate their businesses, what their priorities are. And we deliver that to SMEs, to startups, to early stage, and to growing companies. This includes self-employed micro business as well, who are most welcome on the program. We deliver them through our members, who are business advisors. So we're not a rigid sort of a licensing or franchising kind of model. We have a unique membership model where we invite people we trust and who have the qualities to deliver. And we work closely with chambers. And what we deliver are 3 programs, as I said, Fit to Bid, Goal Mapper, and Peer Networks. We've got a large contract in Hertfordshire. Okay. There is a webinar about about developing key partnerships, which I'll be delivering in the second half of the year. But I want to say this to you, that it's taken us 11 years to build this one slide. We are extremely, proud of it. And I will help you to work together. What we're telling our businesses, what we're saying to SMEs is work together to develop a partnership and partner yourself out of the pandemic. It's very important. Can't do this alone anymore. We've got to work together to get ourselves out. Okay, so how do we take advantage of the new economic environment? We've been, for the last 18 months, we've been reactive, all of us, primarily health and safety reason. It's impacted our operations, and it's definitely impacted everybody's financials. This is an ongoing effort. Hopefully we're going to get our lockdown by the end of next month. But it's time for businesses. How do we move on? How do we move on? We've got to get a bit more sort of proactive. There's no use it's no use sense trying to defend ourselves anymore. We've got to be a bit more proactive. And there are industries, there are changes happening. Research your market. invest in yourself and your key processes, reading, attending these webinars, upskilling them, networking them, creating new networks, and innovate. Do something a bit different. It doesn't mean that you have to have a high-tech business to be innovative. You can be a service business and innovate in terms of your pricing model, in terms of your delivery, in terms of your partnerships, how you want to reach the market. But do something a bit different, and there are opportunities. In fact, this program has been put together to help you to to overcome the challenges and to take advantage of post-pandemic and post-Brexit opportunities. Overcome the challenges and take advantage of the opportunities. That's moving from reactive to proactive. So I'm just going to put this on thing. I want to see whether you can, just to confirm, you can all see my slides. Just somebody give me a nod. Joe, can you see my slides? Yeah. You're at it. Great. Okay, great stuff. Let me go back to where I was. Right. So this is the canvas. So we're still on the introduction. So you feel free to take notes, but I will send you a copy. I will send you the recording by tomorrow or so. The canvas is great for if you have a brand new idea or if you've got an existing idea you want to adapt and change. But it's also an extraordinary tool, a one-page tool to evaluate where you are now post-pandemic and to see and to put a strategy together on where you want to be. So it's a template. The right side focuses on the customer, so it's outward looking. The left side is internal looking, what we need to do and what you need to do to get ready. And both external and internal meet around the value in proposition. There is a webinar coming up in 2 weeks' time on value in the proposition. It's so important that there is a plugin tool, which is a separate one. I'll take you through that in a minute. Okay, so we got 9 building blocks, etc. We can think about how you look at your business in 4 terms. We look at our business through 4 lenses, as it were. Desirability, the first thing. Do we have a product or service which is desirable to customers, not something you want to launch? I'll give you an example. We have a contract at the British Library in central London. A few years back, a lady came to see me and she said she wanted to start a Moroccan restaurant. Great. So I asked her why, and this is what she said. She says, I've been to Morocco, I love their food, and I want to start a new restaurant. Alarm bells, straight away. So then I asked her, where are you going to get the funding from? She said, I'm going to borrow 200,000 pounds from my family, my dad's pension pot. And I said, no, stop there, please. Have you tested the concept? Do you know how to cook? Do you know whether there's a requirement, which high street? She hadn't done any of that. So I hope she hasn't done it yet, because that would have been 200K down the drain, basically. So are we desirable to our customers? Can you deliver it? Okay, you've done some research. Can you source your product? Can you deliver it? Do you have the tech platform? Do you have the people, the skills, the partnerships? Are you feasible? Can you implement it? Can we build it? Can we deliver it? These are questions to ask yourselves. Viability. Okay, your product is desirable. You can deliver it. Can we make money? It's not very difficult to on these 3 lenses yet. We haven't got to the 4th one. But on these 3 lenses, it's not very difficult to agree that we have 2 of them, but the 3rd is usually the deal sort of a breaker. You've got to make all 3 work. We need to be viable. Okay, if you're a startup, you can take the route that for the first 1 or 2 years, you might not be viable. You're going to be able to break even in about 2 years' time. Fine, but then you've got to be sustainable. And the final bit, the adaptability. Can you compete by developing have you got a USP? Or because everybody has a USP these days, or have you got a sustainable advantage which you can compete over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and make a business out of it? So these are 4 areas. Look at it from a business sort of point of view, from a macro level. So this hopefully gives you an idea about where we're trying to help you with this, to go from gut-based. You've seen the changes in the marketplace, the opportunities, hopefully. With the pandemic, most of us have been hit in our business. Most of us have to change. We've had financial issues. But what do we do next? You've got some ideas. you've talked to some friends, some family, but this model, using this model, a very simple model will help you, but a very sort of powerful one will help you to go from your gut-based eureka idea to evidence-based. So a bit more detail. So looking at desirability, the first on the blocks here, it's customer segments. Who are your key customers? Customer relationships. What relationships does each customer segment? How are you going to retain those customers? Number 4 is how do customers want to be reached, and the value proposition I said is very special. We'll deal with that separately. We'll do that today as well. But if you have a workshop just around the value proposition. Feasibility. Can we build it? Can we deliver it? What do we really do? Not only just admin, unless you run an admin in your business or a bureau. But even then, you've got to find new customers. So what are your key activities? Payments, platform, supplies, manufacturing, logistics. What do you really do? And what are the resources you need, the key resources you need to make them happen? And your key partners. The key partners can be your suppliers or trade associations, can be key customers. You want to be embedded with them. You want to have a strategic relationship with them and not just treat them at arm's length. There is actually a workshop, as I said, coming up towards the second half of the year, something very close to my heart because our business, Brandwin's business is built on developing key partners. And we've got to make money. We all want to make money. We all need money. And business is about making money. And once you make money, you do what you want with it. That's what I say. If you make money, you want to give it all over to charity. You want to spend it, go on a holiday, do what you want. That's your prerogative. But as a business owner, you want to make the money first and then decide what you want to do with it. Okay, that's very important. So whether you call it, regardless of which way you vote, but the fact is that if you're in business, you are in business. You don't have to be a capitalist, but you are in there to make money. What you do with your money, how charitable you are, what you spend it, how you spend it, that's your prerogative. But we got to make money and survive as a business. We all know that. Great. I'm going to give an example of something we're all very familiar with, Uber. This is a multi-billion pounds business, and their entire business can be explained on one sheet, one model. Okay, on the right, let's start with customer segments. In gray, it's people like us, riders who need a ride, and it works with drivers, people who want to earn money in driving. Then you've got their value proposition in the middle. It's a platform, easiest way around, and the green and the green box for drivers is earn money when you want. Then you've got customer relationships managed by rating systems, by channels. You only do an Uber app. So that's how do you reach out. Without the Uber app, we can't make a phone call. We can't walk into the office. So business has to be done for both riders and drivers through the Uber app. Revenue streams, they have 2 types of revenue streams applicable for both. They charge by mile. They have surge pricing in terms of office hours, Heathrow, etc. They charge extra, weekends, all that. That's their business model in terms of revenue. On the left, you've got key activities, platform development, which is absolutely critical to them. Marketing, they've got competition and hiring of drivers. Key resources, again, their tech, they've got to spend money on their tech. Driver network is their key resource. For some of us, it could be just employees, it could be a partnership, etc. The brand is important. They spend a lot of money on their brand and talented employees. Okay, that's a big company. They need employees. Key partners, interestingly, they've got payment processors because they take money in different forms across different countries. MapTech companies, we know how it works in terms of we can see the car arriving at our doorstep. And investors, everywhere they go, they need investment. Every country, they need investors. They partner with large VCs, etc. So these 3 key partners is what basically drives the company as well. It's core to their company, hence the key partnership structure. You might not have thought of your business having a key partnership structure, but it's very important. It's critical to us. It's critical to Uber. It's critical to everybody who's been around for some time and has been able to scale up. The cost structure is important, and it's interesting here as well. You've got employee payroll, driver payouts, etc. But then you've got legal fees. We know why, because Uber's in trouble everywhere it goes. So they've actually got a major component of their cost structure as legal fees. Okay, hopefully we don't have it. We don't have it. Hopefully you don't have it either. Okay, marketing and ads and tech platform costs. So that's Uber in one sheet. and you can understand how you can just try and think about how your business model will try and fit in as well. And that's what we want to do next. Okay. So I did say I'll speak for about 10, 15 minutes, then I'll work with you and hope and sort of help you to develop your own business model. So 9 building blocks plus a few more sheets will take average 2 or 3 minutes each. Use a notebook or a blank canvas if you have one already with you printed out. Ideally 1 page of a notebook. Guidelines on each building block will be on your screen, and you'll get a minute or 2 for each. Follow the order of the slides, and we will assess your business model at the end. Okay, great. So everybody is still okay? Everybody just give me a nod and you can see my slides. Yeah, good. Okay, you got your notepads already now? Great, okay. Right, first things first, customer segments, not what we want to sell, but start with the customer first. And that is the point as well. And we're not talking about just customer personas. We're not talking about age, profile, health, etc., sex, all that. No, we're not. We're talking about jobs to be done. That's why I've highlighted that in blue. Please attend my next workshop. You will understand the big radical thinking, which is moving from customer personas, which is very useful for marketing, but only after you've got your jobs to be done. What is the customer job to be done? And hence ask yourself this question. Write on your notepad in your customer segments and write down your key customer segments. Whom are you creating value? Who are our most important customers, clients, or users? As per LinkedIn, as an example, they've got customers who are paying, customers, and they've got users, the millions of us. Same with, Google. Google's got millions and billions of us who don't pay anything, but there are lots of people on the back of our database, they pay to be seen to us. So do you have this thing? Who are your customers? I'm just checking the chat. In the meantime, please write down who are your customers. I will send you all links to book the next workshop tomorrow, along with the webinar recording. So at this stage, customer segments, 1 minute, think about carefully, who are your customers? You may have existing ones. You may have customers you want to reach. Who are your key customers? It could be segmented in terms of money, because some could be more valuable to you than others. Some could be free, the freemium model. I need this group to use my services so I can monetize them. Or you may be a B2B company, you're working with large organizations, or like us, you may be a B2G company, business to government. Or you could have a website, you could be a B2C company. Right, so we've written now key customers. The word is, don't put a big list of 10 customers. It'd be difficult for you to get across to one of them. Put 1, 2, maximum 3 customer segments. Okay, value proposition. The question to ask here is, what do you deliver? What is the value we deliver? And is getting the job done list. What do customers want? What are you delivering? Are you delivering newness, price, performance, customization? What is your product or service? How is that meeting a jobs to be done list? People pay. Why is this radical thought moving from, why we are moving you from the customer, personas? Let's look at this persona and see how much they want to spend. No, I would suggest the new way of thinking is getting the jobs done. Because people pay for getting jobs done. It's very basic and helps you, but it's so basic it helps you to reach the heart of your service, your value proposition, and build your product and service model. So are people looking for a better price, cost reduction? What is the job they want done when they use your app, your product or service? What customer needs are you? What jobs are we helping the customer get done? So what is how do you build what is your product or service? Is that delivering some of these jobs to be done? And different customer segments may have different jobs to be done. So I would like to advise you at this stage, if you can avoid putting in too many segments again, and just focus on 1 or 2 key segments. Otherwise, it might become a 20-page sort of document, which then doesn't get done later on. Okay, so value proposition. Next stage is revenue streams. What value is the customer segment willing to pay? It could be transactional, resulting from a one-time customer payment, online sales, etc. It could be recurring, a subscription or a contract. Okay, or it could be just a contribution. It could be a business to business contract for a longer period. You don't have to put the figures down, but just think if you want to achieve 100, look at your customer segment and your value proposition and just see where the links are and what percentage each. If you've got more than one customer segment, they're going to contribute in a different way to your revenue streams. And that's my point. So if you've got two customer segments, each of them, are they 50% each in terms of the revenue, or are they 40-30? That will then impact your business model as we go along in terms of key resources, activities, etc. you need to put in place to make this revenue happen. And of course, the cost structure. If you've got your business thought out to a more detailed extent, then feel free to put down real values as well. And it could be a combination again. Somebody could pay a one-off, get a special offer, use the service for 3 months. If you like it, then you get a subscription. So it could be a combination, but each of these, either whether it's transactional or recurring, need separate treatment, separate understanding for yourself to be able to translate that into sales. Moving on to channels. Channels are how do you reach your customers? Do you have a website? Do you have a face-to-face? Emails? Are you planning to sell in direct or through indirect, through wholesalers? Owner channels can be much more profitable, but more expensive to put in place and to operate. Partnerships, indirect, wholesale, distribution, retail, franchising, licensing. You earn a little less, but you understand where you're coming from a partnership point of view, and can allow for rapid expansion as well. Is your product service ready for that? Or at the moment, is it owned? So ask yourself these questions. So which channels do our customer segments want to be reached? If you haven't got the answers now, put it in red or in some other color and research that later. So how are we reaching them now? Which ones work the best? Which channels are the most cost efficient? Which channels, if I go down that channel, it's going to cost me a lot more? And it's these the first point and the last point. Which channels do our customer segments want to be reached, and how are we integrating them with their routines? Routines mean job to be done again. How are we reaching them? Are we reaching them in a way they want to be reached? Or are we trying to educate them through channels, or to reach them through channels which they don't participate in? But it's nice to be there. No, it's not. It's very expensive to be there. Especially at this time when you've got to think very smart about what we have in terms of our resources. And that applies to us, to all our business partners, associates. Work smart, work lean, and try and put emphasis on ROI to make sure your money goes a bit further. How do you approach your businesses, your channels? So you've done the channels now, or you've got some ideas about how to do that. Customer relationships. How do you retain your customers? How do you plan to retain your customers? Are they transactional? They walk in, walk out in a restaurant, and never see you again, but can the restaurant give a loyalty card or a discount to come in next time? A restaurant, as an example, will always have some footfall which is completely transactional, completely coincidental. People are in the area, they eat and they go and they never come back again. But businesses depend on repeat customers. The vast majority of us do. It's easier, more profitable, and less costly, therefore, to retain an existing customer than, as we know, to acquire a new one. But you've got to acquire new ones, or businesses will come to a standstill. So how do you retain your customers? Is it a strategic relationship? I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I used to work for Xerox, the IT software company. And I'll give you an example. In Heathrow, there used to be a room full of Xerox machines, which would work through the night. And by 6 o'clock, they would have the flight manifests printed and ready. Now, this was the days when everything was on paper. It worked extremely well, because if it didn't have those flight manifests at 6 o'clock, Heathrow wouldn't be able to operate. No flights would be able to take off. Very strategic relationship. Okay, it's more than a partnership, a strategic relationship. I'm just giving an example, a real example. So is that kind of a relationship possible in your business where the customer relies on you? Or is it a transactional? And therefore, if it's transactional, then it's volume-based. So ask yourself these questions and put down one or two. You can write down one or two areas where you believe you might be able to work together with your customers or with your marketing team, develop content, develop your strategy in such a way that you are retaining more customers than you are losing. We'll always lose a few customers. People will, for some reason or the other, it's very rare to have 100% customer retention. Very rare indeed. You will lose some, but you want to win, you want to keep more than you lose. So you can have a sustainable sort of a business rather than a sporadic up and down, a seasonal one. You might still be seasonal in terms of in Christmas or occasions, but you got those customers coming back to you. That's important. Key activities. Think about the word key. Now, the next 3 slides have key. Key means the most important ones, the most critical ones, the most important actions your company must perform to operate successfully. So these are some examples here. Whether it's for Microsoft, HP, or McKinsey, you might think Microsoft and HP are the same business, but their activities are different. McKinsey is a big, giant, very successful consulting firm, but their key activities boils down to 2 words: problem solving. They solve problems for their very large clients and get paid well for it. We use Microsoft software as we're doing now, and their key activity is to increase and enhance their software. So what are you into? Are you into production, problem solving, or have you got a platform or a network? And the questions to ask yourself are key activities. What key activities are required to deliver your value proposition? Remember, we said, can we build it? Can we deliver it? We're in that section now. We're in the feasibility. Can we build it? Can we deliver it? In order to build it and to deliver it, what are you delivering? You're delivering your value propositions, your channels, your customer relationships, your retention, and can you even deliver your revenue streams? How are you going to collect your money? Okay. The key activities. Think big right now. You've got opportunities coming up post pandemic, post Brexit. Life is going to change when we get out of lockdown. This time next year, life will be very different. I'm in the sense things might look and feel the same, but they will feel different. They might look the same, sorry, they will feel different. There will be different types of competition, AI, technology. We believe learning and development is going to continue on a remote sort of a basis. There will be opportunities for networking to go back to face, which we're all looking forward to. So ask yourself, what is it that you really do in your business? What do you really need to do to deliver your business? Build it and deliver it. Therefore, what are the key resources you need to make your business model work, to build it and to deliver it again? So you got things to do. Now, what resources you need? Do you need a team of people? Do you need human capital, financial, intellectual? You need to register a trademark. You need more money. You need loans. What do you need? Access to finance, whether it's loans or through equity, or you're looking for a partner to come in, or you need to have physical presence. Whether it depends what you're opening. You need technology, and key resources can be owned or leased. as an example, if you're looking to get a fleet of vans, you don't have to buy them. You can lease them. You can lease most technology these days. You can lease most assets these days. You do not have to buy anything outright, depending on your cash flow. So what key resource, again, the same 4 questions, but look at it, in-house or outsourced. As an organization, Brandwin, we've been on for 11 years. We offer scale, robustness, etc. We win, contract, we win some, we lose some, but that's life. But the ones we win and we deliver are all outsourced. We have no staff. We don't intend to have staff. We are lean, mean. We outsource our marketing. We outsource our admin. We outsource our technology, some aspects of it. And that's our business model. And that helps us win contracts at local authority rates and be able to deliver it to you at a reasonable profit, which keeps us going. So what key resources? So think outside the box. You don't have to have a giant company to be successful. And success is obviously a very sort of individual. You can be turning over 150,000 pounds and be successful and have enough money to do what you want to do. Or you might have ambitions to turn over 1 million and have the structure to do that. That's entirely up to you or your business, your scalability, etc. But think about, do you need everything in-house right now, or can you outsource and bring in people? That's a key question to ask, especially now in this day and age, when there are good people who are looking for work, when cash is a bit more difficult to invest everything in-house as well. Some things you might need, but some things you can outsource. That is my point. So it's key resources. What key resources are required by your value propositions? Do you need a tech platform? Do you need to talk to a logistics in a company? Do you need to distribute it? It doesn't have to be logistics, it can be online. Do you need to go Amazon? Do you need to go eBay or Spotify or whatever? I don't no idea what your product or your service is. Those are distribution channels as well. The customer relationships, in order to retain them, you're going to have to do something, and that's going to need a resource. Revenue stream as well. I've got a question coming through chat. I'm just going to have a look at that. Tony's put in the link for the next session. Thank you, Tony. Okay, you didn't expect this now, did you? This is not a nature documentary, but this is an example of, it's the fastest land animal in the world. This is, as you would have guessed, it's a cheetah in full flight, magnificent sight, magnificent creature. But there's a big but coming. And the but, it hunts alone. It's usually very short race, 200 to 300 meters, that's just down the road. Chase lasts less than a minute. It gets tired very easily. It can't climb trees. Leopards can and some lions can, but it can't climb trees. And it runs away from bigger cats. And it's got a 50% hit and run, literally, success rate. Now that's not a good business model, is it? Because we often see cheetah cubs not doing very well. We often see cheetah, families, unfortunately, not doing very well. So the hit rate is too low for long-term, survival. On the other side, we're on the same plains, the same, grassy fields or terrain. You've got elephants, and if you look at elephants, they walk around in a herd. They protect each other. They never go hungry or thirsty. They always find water. They can even stomp on the ground and dig an instant well. They rarely get attacked, and they live long. And they travel very long distances. They're also very clever. Right. So that's my point, is creating a sustainable partnership whilst we have a workshop for it. But I want to put this point across here now, that think of different ways to partner with different bodies, trade associations, suppliers, etc. And put yourself in the place of these elephants as a business. And you can survive for long. You can build a moat around you. You will be able to, you will get attacked by competition, but you'll be able to fend it off. And you'll walk long, you'll stay long, etc. So on that basis, a fresh page again for key partners, and look at the types of partnerships that you want to achieve. Strategic alliances between non-competitors, competition. You might even have to work with the competitors. I'll give an example. Right now, this program we are delivering, we are also delivering a program in Hounslow. And Hounslow, we are working with 2 or 3 similar suppliers, where we have a niche, they have a niche, and a third one has a niche. So between the three of us, we are working together to sort of put together a joint program for local businesses in the Hounslow area. And guess what? We're all in it together. We're all earning money, and it's working extremely well. It needs compromise. It needs a thought process to work with. And I'm sure you can have it, but it needs you to think about it. Can I work with somebody in my field to expand my business? Joint ventures, buyer-supplier relationships to assure reliable supplies if you're in the manufacturing or supply chain trade. And the key partnerships, the motivations are: you want to optimize, you want to grow bigger economies of scale. You might want to reduce the risk of getting to a market. There is a market, you want to approach it, but you have the money, but it's risky, so you might want to partner. Or you don't have the product or service, you want to acquire new products or services. So ask yourself these questions and write down your key partners. You may have one now, you may think about this. Hopefully this is what you are thinking about, developing a key partner. Okay, so that's building block 8. A partner you want to develop, as an example, it could be a buyer, supplier, it could be a local chamber, it could be a competitor, it could be a finance house, it could be a technology platform, it could be another associate or someone who's got complementary skills to you. You don't want the same skills coming into your business, because that would be a duplication of effort, and that doesn't always end well. So you want people who complement you, who work with you, and who have different skills and can look at your business from a different sort of point of view. Okay, so cost structure. This is the tough bit in terms of money. Again, we have to spend it. Why I say it's tough? Because it's to do with spending. All this time was about earning, now it's about spending. So cost structure, whether it's cost-driven or value-driven, it depends on your customers. It depends on whether you are a B2C company, B2B company, whether you're working with high net worths, or you're working with the middle ground, or you're working with the mass market. And what are the 2 or 3, as you saw in the Uber example, key costs. What are the most important costs inherent in your business in a model? Ask yourself these 2 questions. Which key resources are the most expensive, and which key activities are the most expensive? And you'll have your key cost, 80% of your cost structure there. So refer back to your notes, key resources, key activities, and you'll be able to find, and you'll be able to identify your key costs. And hopefully, when you've looked at your business, your model, after this session's over, and you look at it in terms of how you're going to be able, how they relate to your revenue streams, hopefully you can find a correlation and find that your revenue streams, maybe if you're a startup, as I said, in the first year, it might be difficult, but in year 2, you want to start to break even. Year 3, you want to be profitable. That is what most funders are comfortable with. They know that if you're a startup, you're not going to be able to make money in the first 2 years. You hopefully break even at the end of year 2. But if you've got an existing business, if you're launching a new product or service, this will help you to identify the key costs associated with key resources and key activities. And the emphasis on key. Continue with your notes. We've done the 3 models, the 3 lenses. We've looked at desirability, feasibility, and viability. Desirability, do they want it? Feasibility, can we build it? Can we deliver it? And viability, can we make money? Now we look at external. We're going to take a macro view. We look at adaptability. There's a lot of stuff happening out there. A lot of things have happened since Brexit, pandemic. The world is not at the same as we know it. So this is a bit of research, for you to do, for you to think about. So I'm going to put up the 4 main boxes here and think about 1 or 2, 3 key areas that you need to look at in terms of research. So whether it's key trends, technology, social and cultural. We are buying differently. We are consuming media differently. We are eating, differently. How does that impact your business? We are meeting differently right now as well. Some of it will stay, some will become hybrid. We are working, differently. And in industry forces, your existing, competitors, our existing, competitors may, have the same issues we have right now. I mean, coming out of the pandemic, some have adapted, some will fall away, some will pivot and launch new products or services, become new entrants. Look at the stakeholders in your business who are involved in your business and your key suppliers. How are they changing? Where are they sourcing from? But that's going to impact you as well. Market dynamic shifts in terms of trends, in terms of cash flow, in terms of people's buying habits, in a propensity to buy as well. There's in some sectors of the market, some sort of demographics, there's pent up money. Some sections of the market, there is no money, but they still need, if that's your client base, how are you going to fund them? And infrastructure is also changing. Infrastructure in terms of economic infrastructure, quantitative easing, more money in the market, interest rates, capital markets. Can you get hold of money? Can you get hold of money to grow your business if you need it? Can you get a cash flow loan, or do you need to partner? If you're buying and selling, if you're in the commodities business, or if you're manufacturing and you need materials, how are the issues in China going to affect you? Are you going to manufacture them elsewhere? Or are you going to manufacture them in the UK? Key questions are being asked every day, and it's not just large companies. We small companies, if we do that now, then we have a better chance of adapting and taking advantage of post-pandemic and post-Brexit opportunities. Okay. SMEs, the work we're doing right now with local authorities and with other government bodies, and with tier 1 and tier 2 companies, larger organizations, there is now an increasing requirement to be able to present social values, social and environmental impacts. And let me explain that to you. On the left, you've got the 9 building blocks. You've got 2 more, one pink and one green. That's basically environmental and social. So all this time we've been talking about the business aspect of it. Now we're going to put in a social and environmental layer. Let me explain that. That's by creating some social value. Does your organization, so ask yourself this question, and if not, put it down. And I'll be very, I'm not asking you to look at every one of this, but to look at them all. And does your organization deliver social value in one or more of these bullet points? Do you, when you go, what does your business represent? And why? Is because there is increasingly a differentiation between commercial customers who will buy on your value proposition and impact customers who will buy on social value. Look at yourselves as an example. How often are we buying fair trade in goods and services, food, coffee, etc.? You're going to a coffee shop, and if they say that this is from fair trade, etc., you might even pay 50 pence or a quid extra, and you'll buy that. Because the impact customers. Whether it's fair trade, well-being, inclusion, carbon footprint, is there one or more that you can build into your business? You have a better chance of winning larger business. You have a better chance of looking good. You have a better chance of approaching new customers, because there are impact in your customers as well. This is taking on an increasingly important role. It's affected our business because we bid with local authorities, and we're being asked to deliver social value. I was in a workshop yesterday with the economic development officers of 3 boroughs, and I was waiting for the question, and it did come up. So how do you deliver social value? So I had a slide there, and we discussed it. They were reasonably happy. They are asking for this. So in fact, one of them even said, if you win a contract of over £100,000, you have to demonstrate that 10% of that contract is going to be put back into the community in terms of social value. That's £10,000 from your profit, in short. But that is a requirement of winning a contract, these days. Whether it's a local authority, with large companies, building works, whether you're a plumber, etc. They want to see your social value. What are you going to give back to the community? Whether you're working with local employment hubs, whether you're working with hard to reach communities, whether you're giving away something in terms of extra value, etc. So look at your business in terms of an economic layer, but also think about the impact on your customers. Might help you to close that one sale, that sale you've been really longing for, if you can put across this extra bit. So we're coming towards the end, and I want to put this point across about, we've looked at the building blocks. Now, as the name suggests, these are building blocks. So if you put together a building blocks, 9, 10, or 20 of them, and you build a house, you take off a few bricks, the house is going to come down. Okay. So the point is, they are interdependent, and so is your strategy. So these are example arrows, just to demonstrate that every building block is each building block is not in isolation. Every building block depends on the other. So what this helps you is the business model helps you to evaluate, to examine your business, and to create a strategy going forward. And that is what is important here. Not to think of it as isolation in boxes. Hence the 4 lenses. Hence the value proposition we look at in a lot more detail in 2 weeks' time. But look at it in terms of developing your strategy. Right. Now, for the next 10 minutes or less, we are going to have some fun here, okay? Hopefully. So I've got a set of 7 questions, which you're happy to see on chat. So the first question is, so we're going to assess your business. We're going to look at your business model. You are going to look at your business model, and you're going to, starting with question 1, ask yourself this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, okay? You've got 7 questions. Maximum answers are 10, and the least answers obviously 0. So you can get 0, you can halfway, you can get up to 70. I'd like to see some of your answers, please, which would be great. Okay, so switching costs. Nothing holds my customers back from leaving me. All my customers are locked in for several years. Where are you on the scale? Will customers move from you because of a few pennies, few pounds, few £100? Who knows? That depends on your business model. But can you retain have you got a customer retention policy? Is my point. Customer retention. Will they move because of costs? Number 2, recurring revenues. All your sales, 100% of my sales are transactional. Or 100%, are you a subscription in a business, or are you doing so well that people come back to you time after time, month after month, as we sometimes do on Amazon Prime? We buy stuff from people on a monthly basis, and they give you a small sort of a discount as well. Or just a customer, you love that restaurant so much, or you love that food so much, or you love that service so much, that your customer comes back to you when they have any job to be done. So where are you? Are you at 0? Hopefully not. If you're at 10, I'll be delighted to hear from you. And I'll be equally delighted to hear from you if you're somewhere in the middle. That's 2 questions. Number 3, 4, and 5, earning versus spending. Number 3, do you have to spend do you have to invest in your business before recovering the money, or do you get paid in advance? On number 10, on 100% of my revenues before incurring cost of goods sold. You obviously want to be at 10, but where are you on the scale? Your business model, does it mean that you got to buy goods and services, or can you get them at a credit, or can you have a joint venture? Can you have a partnership? Can you get extended credit terms, or you get paid in advance if you're online and you do online business? It's number 3. Number 4, game-changing cost structure. Adaptively, looking outside the competition. Is your cost structure at least 30%? Is your cost structure 30% higher than your competitors, or 30% lower than your competitors? Game-changing. Are we really, really tough to compete? We built such a moat around us. We got such a strong business model that your competitors cannot come near you. That's number 10. Or are you just about where your competitors are? Well, then customer retention becomes a bit more difficult, unless you're providing that extraordinary value. Number 5, others who do the work. You incur costs, on a zero basis for all the value created in my business model, or is created by external parties. Your partnerships work, people add value to you. Number 10 is an extreme case. It can happen with content writers. People are writing content, and it can happen with LinkedIn. Google is an example. They're at number 10. Okay, most of the value in their business model is created by people like us, or Facebook as well. So those are giant platforms which use us to create value, and they sell on that value and make billions out of it. That's their business model. So where are you in number 5? Last 2 questions. Scalability. Can you scale your business, or are you one man, one woman in a band? What are you? Can you? Is it going to take substantial resources and effort to scale your business, or I can transfer my knowledge, my IP, create a model, whether it's geographic model, whether it's a online model, a platform, or whether it's a franchise licensing? Can you grow? Can you grow? Can you grow? Not necessarily effortlessly, but you have no limits in terms of territory, platform, customers, making money, etc. You might not be able to do that now, but in 5 years' time, or 3 years' time, can you think about, is that possible? Does your business model allow you to do that? Last bit, protection from competition again. My business model has no moats, and I'm vulnerable to competition. I lose more business than I win, basically. I've got a cheetah hit rate, or worse than the cheetah hit rate of 50%. Or number 10, my business model provides substantial moats that are hard to overcome. So you win more than you lose. Okay, so you've added up the totals, I hope, to 70. And be good to see in the chat. I'm just going to put on the chat. Why is my chat file not coming? Right, just put your answers in the chat. It'd be great just to see, get an idea of where people are. David Whiteside's got 30. Lois, if I get that pronunciation right, please, 43, which is quite good actually. Lois, what sort of business do you run? Can you just describe your business in a few words, please? Jamie Hilton, 35, good. I mean, if you look at it on average, if it's 35 to 40-ish, means you're doing something right, but hopefully this has opened up your thought process and you can do better, as it were. That's the point. Training, fashion design, okay. Rakesh, 33, okay, so halfway there, 35. Okay, so this is an example. Ruth Ann Lynch has got 43, Sandro's got 46. Sandro, can you describe your business in a few words, please? You've got 46, which is above the average. Sorry, Rakesh, it's Darshi. Apologies. Okay. Laptop and computer services. Great. Okay, so again, I think I would assume you've done well in work from home and remote, etc., which is what's going on now. Okay, so we've got. I mean, you can see that it's almost utopia, or very difficult to get to 70. And thankfully, none of you at 0, or the ones who are at 0 are not putting it up, which is also fine. Again, feel free. Okay, so here's a challenge for you all, and it's a challenge because not everybody takes it up. If you submit a canvas to me, if you put together a canvas, even on a sheet of paper in a typed version, because sometimes it's difficult to understand your own handwriting, so give me a break. I want it typed. If you can send me a typed version, I'll be happy to look at your canvas on a one-to-one basis, very confidential, and send it back to you with a few comments. So you've got my email address, you've got my details, so feel free to send me your canvas. Okay, let's get back to the presentation and coming to an end now. So in summary, the canvas is a strategic tool can be used for visualizing, planning, and even reinventing. Hopefully not, but sometimes you have to Creating value. Creating value is all it's about. Creating value and getting it paid by your customer segments. It can be used to develop, adapt an idea, or launch a new product or service. Whether you're a self-employed micro business, you've got, 5 staff, you're a startup, or you're a multi-billion-pound business like Uber, Google, or LinkedIn, but you can still use the canvas for any of these ideas, any of these purposes. Any business in a sector, any size. And it's often the starting point to develop your business plan, pitch deck. If you're looking to win new contracts, secure investment, a lot of people are saying, well, don't send me your 25-page business plan at this very early stage. Send me your canvas. And if I can understand your canvas in 1 page, I will come back to you and then we can have a discussion and you can then send me your pitch deck and hopefully your business plan, okay? And remember one thing, it's important to understand that it's all linked. Every box is linked to the other. So it's a strategy you're developing using this one-sheeter. Right, last exercise for you to do, top 3 action plan. What are you going to do next, in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months? You've got some ideas, hopefully you've got some new ideas. You need to research, you need to talk to people. So it'd be great if you can just simply write down your top 3 actions, and you might be, delivering or have to deliver all of them, or you might be, or some might be by your accountant, your business partner, or somebody else. And by when? Over the next write down your key actions for the next 1 month. 1 month, maximum 2 to 3 months. By September, what do you want to have achieved, if not earlier? Something which came out of this workshop gives you some ideas what you really need to get done. So a minute, for that, then I'll talk to you about what's coming up next few workshops, etc. Remember, it's vital few actions. Don't put down more than 3 because that's vital too many and they never get done. So it's top 3 actions, please. Just what do you really want to get done? What do you think will impact your business, get you ready, whether it's now or by summer? What do you need to get done? We'll give you another minute to think it over, and then we move on. Okay. We talked about next week. We talked about a set of tools. There are 2 tools. One is the canvas, and within the canvas, we have a second tool, which is the value proposition. And this helps you basically. This is this box and this circle you down here. This is the value proposition. It helps you to zoom out and zoom into your business. So the value proposition, you go really deep. Then you zoom out, you look at adaptability as well. So these 3 tools, which we've done 2 of them here today. We've done the canvas and we've done the adaptability, zoom out. Next week or in 2 weeks' time, we're going to really zoom into your business. And you're going to have to do a bit more work to really understand who your customer segments are. We'll do jobs to be done and value proposition. We'll design your value. We'll have a fresh look at your value proposition. So I hope to see you all in a couple of weeks again. And Tony's put up a link, but you will be sent the link as well. Okay, so what's coming up next in terms of Park Royal? We are here today on the 23rd of June. In 2 weeks' time, I'll be joined by my colleague Nigel Grant, who is an expert in sales, and we're going to do a double act, as it were. Then you've got Chris McNeil on the 21st of July. He's a globally acknowledged expert on Amazon and selling online. If you want to understand how you can sell your services online, your products or your services, then you've got to come for this. We take a break in August. In September, we've got, if you remember, I mentioned the word, fit to bid. We've got 2 sessions here of bids and tenders, winning, contracts with local authorities, tier 1, tier 2 suppliers, how to put together a proposal to win more business. That's in September. In October, we've got Kickstart and Brexit impact and supply chain by 2 experts, and the Forge will also start to come into it as well, which is our local a partner. Janice will talk about funding your business, or that might be replaced with a green economy, which we are being asked by our sponsors to put across as well. HR and recruitment again. And in December, I'll talk to you about circular economy and developing key partnerships. Tony, who is the project manager on this, will talk about project management. Launch, how do you put together a project to launch a new product or service? And it's just that someone has got to go towards the end. We've got, Jezre for Presented to Win. But more importantly for you, we've got one-on-one, sessions, which Tony and the team will be talking to you very shortly. We've got your details. And for people who attend webinars, will get a priority. So expect a call or an email from Tony and the team to schedule in one-to-one, business advice sessions. You will be sent a link in advance. It's called Goal Mapper. It's an online diagnostic and only take a few minutes. So these are business advice, sessions. We'll be documenting them on an action card, which will be sent to you. So it's very structured, very useful. And they'll be held one every month. So it'll take 3 to 4 months to complete the 3 hours. And that makes sense because you might have agreed something in the first session. You need a time to implement it, etc. Okay, and it'll help you right from starting up again. It'll refer to the canvas. It'll refer to the Goal Mapper tool, and it'll help you to reboot and to recover yourself again. So the Park Royal methodology, we've got 12 business workshops. We're going to do a diagnostic. There is even a fit-to-fit diagnostic if somebody really wants to look at attend a business. And again, it's open for startups, micro, self-employed, early stage, and growing SMEs. And the one-to-one session. So that's the methodology we have to offer for you. We have a great team. We are ready to start. We started off here today, and expect calls and contacts from Tony and the team to schedule the one-on-one sessions. So that's it. Recording will be sent tomorrow. Any questions, anything on chat you want to put across? Happy to do so. Otherwise, we will definitely see you hopefully in 2 weeks' time. Anything you want to say on chat? I'm here for the next 5 minutes. Once again, this challenge. Send me your business model. I will look at it, evaluate it, and come back to you on a confidential basis, one-to-one. And there's no conflict. There's totally no conflict of interest, etc. And I'll be happy to work with you. And I'll pass you on to a suitable advisor as well for the one-to-ones. But expect a call, expect contact from Tony and team. So many thanks to you all, and see you in 2 weeks' time. Okay, thank you. Bye. Lois has asked a question. Yes, I will email you the template along with the presentation, the webinar recording.